Before the glitter of Las Vegas, before the sound of coins and flashing lights, there was a heartbeat. The human heartbeat that quickens when it meets uncertainty. Long before there were casinos, there was risk. Thousands of years ago, before written language, hunters carved bones into small cubes. They rolled them across the dirt, asking the gods for mercy, for rain, for victory. Those bones, the first dice, were more than toys. They were sacred. The outcome was fate speaking through randomness. Archaeologists have found dice in Mesopotamia, carved from sheep's knuckles more than 5,000 years old. In ancient China, ivory sticks were thrown to divine the future, the ancestor of dominoes and tiles that would later become mahjong. In Greece, soldiers gambled on shields between battles. In Rome, even emperors wagered their fortunes, and sometimes their lives. The philosopher Seneca wrote that life itself is a game of dice. And perhaps that was the secret. We gamble because we recognize ourselves in chance. Every throw mirrors the uncertainty of existence. Gambling spread with empires. When merchants traded silk and spices along the ancient roads, they carried not just goods, but games. Dice from China met cards from India, and when those cards reached Persia, they became art, painted symbols of luck and hierarchy. By the 14th century, Europe fell in love with cards. Kings, peasants, priests all played. The church condemned gambling, calling it sin, but sin, as history shows, is the most enduring business on earth. From Paris to Florence, from London to Venice, people gathered in secret rooms, candlelight flickering over coins. Nobles gambled for sport, commoners for survival. The outcome was the same: thrill. For a moment, everyone was equal before luck. Then came Venice, the city that floated between sky and sea, where pleasure was a profession. In the 17th century, Venetian nobles decided to make gambling official, controlled, elegant. In 1638, they opened Il Ridotto, the private room. It was the first government-sanctioned gambling house in the world. Inside, masked players in velvet cloaks rolled dice and played biribi, an early version of roulette. Outside, gondolas drifted through the canals as music echoed from palaces. The city had invented the casino, though it did not yet know the word. The term casino came later, from casa, house. At first, it meant any small building for recreation, dancing, music, conversation. But over time, one form of recreation devoured the rest. By the 18th century, casino meant one thing: the house of risk. Monte Carlo, Baden-Baden, Spa, Europe's golden triangle of temptation. These were not dens of crime, but cathedrals of chance. Crystal chandeliers, silk gowns, violins, champagne, and ruin hiding behind elegance. People called it La Belle Époque, the beautiful era, but it was also the age of debt and despair. Gamblers pawned family jewels. Aristocrats shot themselves in marble bathrooms. And still the tables stayed full. Psychologists today would call it intermittent reinforcement. The same mechanism that makes rats press a lever for sugar water kept dukes pressing for another card. Sometimes you win, mostly you lose, but sometimes is enough to trap the mind forever. Then came America, raw, lawless, hungry. The early settlers brought cards and dice across the ocean. By the 19th century, gambling spread along the Mississippi River. Steamboats carried merchants and gunslingers who bet fortunes between ports. Saloon doors swung open, whiskey spilled, the piano never stopped. Poker was born in this chaos, a game of strategy, bluff, and courage. It became the national metaphor, survival through deception. Wherever the frontier went, gambling followed. California gold towns, Texas ranches, New Orleans parlors, and wherever gambling thrived, morality followed close behind to stop it. Legislators outlawed it, churches damned it, sheriffs raided it. But the tables always reopened under new names. By the early 20th century, the United States was at war with vice. Prohibition banned alcohol. Gambling went underground. In hidden basements, men in fedoras and women in pearls played dice by candlelight. And in those shadows, the modern casino began to form, not as a palace, but as a business. In 1931, the state of Nevada legalized gambling. No one noticed at first. The desert around Las Vegas was empty, just sand, silence, and a highway. Then came the Hoover Dam. Thousands of workers arrived with money and nowhere to spend it. Bars appeared, brothels opened, and soon the first neon sign lit up the night. Vegas was born from thirst, not for water but for risk. The Great Depression drove people toward illusion. When reality collapsed, chance became hope. Roulette wheels spun while factories closed. The poorest man could dream of fortune for the price of a chip. Casinos understood the psychology before science did. Give people control over chaos and they'll pay for the illusion. But Vegas truly exploded after World War II. Soldiers returned craving excitement. Hollywood glamorized sin. And in the shadows, the mafia saw opportunity. Gangsters like Bugsy Siegel envisioned a desert paradise, a place where money could multiply faster than it could be taxed. He built the Flamingo Hotel, blending luxury and danger. The formula worked. By the 1950s, Las Vegas became the world's capital of chance. Part circus, part cathedral, all controlled chaos. Behind the glamour, organized crime laundered billions. Money was skimmed before it reached the books. Politicians looked away. Everyone got paid except the losers who were the point. Casinos learned to manipulate the senses. No windows, no clocks, endless music tuned to one tempo, the tempo of staying. The air thick with oxygen to keep players awake. Carpets patterned to confuse direction. Every sound designed to say, one more game. The architecture of temptation. By the 1960s, Vegas was a myth made of light. Frank Sinatra sang at the Sands. The Rat Pack toasted mobsters. Presidents visited quietly. The desert glittered like a promise. And beneath it all, the machine kept spinning. Perfect, eternal, hungry. By the late 1960s, Las Vegas had mastered the art of illusion. The neon skyline was no longer a mirage. It was America's altar to excess. Money flowed through the desert like a hidden river. Gamblers came to lose, and the city made sure they enjoyed every second of it. The mafia's control began to fade when corporations discovered what criminals had always known. Gambling was the most profitable form of entertainment ever invented. Wall Street replaced the mob. Accountants replaced enforcers. In 1967, billionaire Howard Hughes arrived in Las Vegas, buying hotel after hotel. His presence legitimized the city and sanitized its image. Vegas became a family destination, but the soul of the place never changed. Behind the fountains and stage shows, the old instinct remained. The house always wins. Casinos turned into machines of psychological engineering. Every sound was calibrated. The ringing of coins, the rhythm of shuffling cards, the hum of air conditioning, all tuned to trigger reward. Colors mattered. Red to excite, gold to promise wealth, blue to calm losers into staying. Gamblers believed they were free, but they were inside a perfectly designed experiment. The era of the slot machine sealed this transformation. Originally simple mechanical boxes with 3 reels, they evolved into digital predators. The term one-armed bandit was no joke. By the 1970s, slots generated most of a casino's income. Psychologists discovered why. Small, frequent wins keep the brain releasing dopamine. Every spin is a heartbeat, every near miss a whisper of hope. The machine never judges, never sleeps, never stops. Across the ocean, Europe had its own rebirth. Monte Carlo still glittered with old-world elegance. James Bond made it immortal. But new players emerged: London, Atlantic City, Macau. Each city tried to bottle the same magic, luxury mixed with danger. Each became another shrine to the same god, luck. Atlantic City was supposed to be America's second Las Vegas. Legalized gambling arrived in 1976 with promises of jobs and prosperity. For a while it worked. Resorts rose along the boardwalk, lights blazed over the ocean. But corruption, mismanagement, and economic decline turned paradise into decay. The lesson was brutal. Without illusion, gambling loses its spell. In Asia, meanwhile, a sleeping giant stirred. Macau, once a quiet Portuguese colony, opened its casinos in the 1960s, but its true explosion came 40 years later. By the 21st century, Macau's revenues dwarfed those of Las Vegas. China's new elite needed a place to sin safely, and Macau became their playground. The games were the same: baccarat, roulette, poker, but the stakes were higher, the money infinite. The house no longer just won, it conquered. Yet, the empire of gambling was about to face a revolution no casino architect could have predicted: the digital age. In the 1990s, the internet arrived like a new frontier. The first online casino launched in 1994, built on primitive software and shaky trust. Within a decade, there were thousands. Suddenly, the walls vanished. No neon, no dealers, no clock, only screens and sound effects. The gambler no longer needed a table. The table came to him. Governments tried to regulate, but technology moved faster than law. Offshore servers, digital wallets, and anonymity created a new Wild West, one without borders. And just as before, morality followed, screaming but powerless. Online gambling changed more than logistics. It rewired psychology. Where Las Vegas seduced through spectacle, the internet seduced through convenience. You didn't have to walk, dress, or speak, just click. Micro bets, endless bonuses, instant withdrawals, the perfect formula for addiction. And the house, invisible and global, took its cut from every corner of the earth. Meanwhile, in Vegas, a different kind of revolution took place. The mob was gone, the corporations ruled, and the city transformed again, from a gambling town into an experience. Mega resorts like the Bellagio, MGM Grand, and the Venetian turned risk into theater. Fountains danced, volcanoes erupted, Eiffel Towers and Egyptian pyramids rose under the desert sun. The gambling floor became just one attraction among many, yet it remained the heart, the pulse that paid for everything. By the early 2000s, casinos were everywhere. Not just Vegas or Macau, but Singapore, Australia, South Africa, and Eastern Europe. Governments that once banned gambling now embraced it as salvation. Casinos promised tourism, jobs, and taxes. In reality, they created dependency. Economies addicted to the same drug as their citizens. Then came smartphones. And the casino followed into our pockets. Apps turned gambling into play, play turned into profit. A child tapping on a screen learned the same mechanics as a gambler pulling a lever. Bright colors, quick rewards, the illusion of control. The line between game and gamble vanished. Psychologists warned that gambling had escaped containment. It was no longer confined to red carpets and marble halls. It had entered our nervous systems. Every social media notification, every stock trading app, every loot box copied the casino's code. The entire digital world became a slot machine. Casinos had won more than money. They had conquered attention. By the beginning of the 21st century, casinos had stopped being places. They had become systems. The architecture of temptation had moved from walls and carpets into the human brain itself. The old question was simple: why do we gamble? The new question is darker: why can't we stop? Every game of chance follows the same hidden mathematics. It is called the variable reward schedule, a pattern discovered by psychologists long before the internet was born. When a person receives a reward at unpredictable intervals, sometimes after 10 tries, sometimes after 50, the brain releases far more dopamine than it would from a guaranteed win. Uncertainty itself becomes the addiction. The very moment you almost win, your brain records it as success. You press the button again and again, chasing a ghost. Casinos learn to weaponize that ghost. The near miss, the flashing lights, the celebratory sounds, even when you lose, each one is a neural trick. The slot machine is not mechanical, it's neurological. You don't play against the house. You play against your own chemistry. Scientists studying gamblers with MRI scanners saw something unsettling. The brain of a compulsive gambler looks almost identical to that of a drug addict. The same circuits light up, the same hunger, the same relief, the same crash. The difference is subtle but cruel. A gambler is addicted not to winning, but to almost winning. Hope itself becomes the drug. In Las Vegas, casinos employ entire teams of behavioral engineers. They study how long players stand before fatigue sets in, how lighting affects risk-taking, how sound frequencies increase bet size. The goal is not to make you happy, the goal is to make you stay. Because the longer you play, the more the mathematics catches up. And the mathematics always belongs to the house. The odds are meticulously calculated. Roulette wheels are balanced to within fractions of a millimeter. Slot algorithms are audited to ensure a 97% return, which sounds generous until you realize that means the house keeps 3% of infinity. Over time, it's unbeatable. No strategy, no superstition, no charm can alter it. Casinos sell the illusion of control, not the reality of it. The human mind, however, refuses to accept pure randomness. We invent patterns what we see meaning in noise. After 5 reds on the roulette wheel, we're certain black must be next. After a bad streak, we tell ourselves we're due for a win. This fallacy has a name, the gambler's delusion. It's ancient, universal, and unstoppable. Technology magnified it. Online platforms track every move. How long you hover over a button, when you raise your bet, when you hesitate. Algorithms adjust the odds in real time to maximize your engagement. The game is no longer chance, it's personalized manipulation. You are the experiment. Governments respond with warnings and regulations. But gambling has become a pillar of modern economics. State lotteries fund schools. Casinos create jobs. Digital betting sponsors sports. Everyone profits except the addicted. And addiction is profitable. Psychologists classify gambling disorder as a behavioral addiction, the only one that doesn't require a chemical substance. But in truth, it produces the same withdrawal, the same anxiety, the same craving. When the game stops, reality feels flat. The silence after the spin is unbearable. So you play again not for pleasure, but to escape emptiness. Some try to fight back. Support groups, therapy programs, self-exclusion lists, all noble, all fragile. Because society itself keeps whispering the opposite message. Take a risk, believe in luck, win big. Every advertisement, every movie, every success story feeds the same fantasy that began thousands of years ago with a pair of bones in the sand. And yet the story of gambling is not only one of loss, it is also one of innovation, of art, of human creativity turned toward chaos. Casinos employ mathematicians to design games that are statistically elegant. Artists build interiors that resemble dreams. Dealers master the dance of tension and charm. Even addiction has its own poetry, a tragic beauty in the endless chase. In recent years, neuroscience has begun to map the exact moment when excitement turns to compulsion. It happens in milliseconds. A flicker of dopamine, a spark in the ventral striatum, the promise of control. It is the same spark that drove explorers across oceans, inventors to their laboratories, lovers into danger. The same risk that builds civilizations also destroys them. The casino is simply the purest form of that paradox. By the 2010s, gambling's reach extended far beyond casinos. Financial trading adopted its language: futures, options, leverage, risk. Cryptocurrency exchanges and stock market apps used bright colors and instant feedback borrowed from slot machines. A new generation of gamblers was born, calling themselves investors. But the thrill was the same, the heartbeat of uncertainty, the fantasy of control. Casinos had taught the world too well. Now every screen was a dealer, every notification a spin of the wheel. The digital age didn't kill gambling, it became gambling. The 21st century didn't end the casino, it dissolved it into everything. There is no border between gambling and life now. Every phone vibration, every stock market chart, every swipe on a trading app carries the same pulse that once belonged only to a roulette wheel. The casino learned to hide in plain sight. It's in the blinking lights of Las Vegas, yes, but also in the digital glow of your screen. It lives in sports betting, day trading, crypto speculation, online games, even dating apps. We gamble on markets, on algorithms, on each other. We call it innovation. But beneath the language of progress beats the same ancient heart that once rolled bones for rain. In 2009 came a new invention, Bitcoin. Decentralized, borderless, and anonymous, it opened the next frontier. By the mid-2010s, crypto casinos emerged, virtual tables where digital coins replaced chips. No regulation, no oversight, no taxes. Just code, chance, and desire. Players from every continent joined one endless room without walls. Smart contracts replaced dealers. Blockchain became the new house, transparent, incorruptible, and merciless. The promise was freedom. The reality was the oldest story of all. Some won, most lost. Fortunes vanished in seconds, hidden in lines of code. Hackers became high rollers, and the gods of chance moved into the cloud. Meanwhile, the physical temples of gambling adapted. Vegas rebuilt itself once again. The mafia had left. The corporations had reigned. Now, the influencers arrived. Casinos became arenas for digital celebrities. Instagram posts replaced postcards. High-stakes tables turned into live-stream spectacles where millions watched anonymous players win and lose in real time. The casino discovered a new currency, attention. In Asia, Macau expanded into a glittering empire of marble and gold. Singapore's Marina Bay Sands rose like a spaceship. Dubai prepared its own playground of wealth. Governments that once outlawed gambling now marketed it as tourism. The hypocrisy was almost perfect. The same states that warned their citizens against addiction sold gambling as national identity. Faith and fortune had merged into one. And still, the deeper truth remained. The real game was never about money. It was about control over chaos. Casinos sell the illusion that randomness can be mastered, that destiny can be persuaded. They offer structure to the formless, order to uncertainty. It's a theology as old as humanity itself. Sociologists call gambling ritualized hope. Each spin, each bet, each card turned is a miniature resurrection, a death of possibility followed by the rebirth of chance. Win or lose, the ritual must continue. It gives meaning to the meaningless. It keeps the void at bay. The architecture has evolved, but the psychology has not. Modern casinos use scent diffusers to trigger memory, LED ceilings to mimic daylight, and sound frequencies engineered to comfort anxiety. Every detail whispers one message: you belong here. And for many, that's true. The casino is the one place where hierarchy dissolves. A billionaire and a janitor face the same wheel, the same odds, the same dream. Equality through uncertainty. That's its cruel beauty, but the cost is immense. Addiction, debt, suicide, they are the invisible walls around the bright lights. Families collapse quietly while jackpots roar loudly. Governments profit from taxes on despair. The world applauds luck and ignores the mathematics behind it. Economists predict that global gambling revenue will soon exceed $1 trillion annually. It's larger than the film, music, and sports industries combined. Casinos, lotteries, and online platforms form one organism, a planet-sized machine that feeds on risk. We have built a civilization that monetizes uncertainty. And yet, perhaps that is what we've always done. Every invention, every voyage, every love affair begins with a bet. The difference is that the casino makes the wager explicit. It strips the illusion of safety and leaves only truth. Life itself is a gamble. Late at night in Vegas, when the tourists are gone and the janitors sweep chips from the floor, the city hums like a living creature. Neon reflections shimmer in puddles on the asphalt. Somewhere, a slot machine spins for no one, its lights blinking to an empty room. It doesn't matter. The house isn't waiting for players. The house is the player. And across the planet, in a bedroom lit by a phone screen, someone presses spin one more time. The sound is the same. The hope is the same. The story continues. Because humanity will never stop gambling. We are built from risk, born of chaos, addicted to possibility. From ancient dice to digital coins, from temples to touchscreens, we chase the same spark that began 5,000 years ago. We don't gamble to win. We gamble to feel alive. From ancient games to digital addiction, the story of chance, desire, and the illusion of control. Subscribe, because the next spin is already waiting.